Don't forget to like and subscribe, and share your opinion down below. Am I the idiot for expecting my partner to help me out with mundane inconvenient tasks while I am recovering from foot surgery? Me, 26F, and my partner, 27M, have been together for almost 6 years, and I recently had foot surgery. The surgery was conducted on 4 of my toes on the same foot and consisted of breaking, shortening my toes and straightening the bones. Due to my autoimmune condition, the bones had deteriorated and were no longer solid, and so I am facing an 8+ week recovery time. I am currently having to elevate my foot for 22 hours a day, and am only allowed to walk on crutches for a max of 30 minutes at a time and cannot weight bear. This means I find basic tasks such as showering and just getting up out of bed very challenging. I live in my parents' home and he lives in a single person accommodation. I am living at home as I am saving for us to eventually buy a home, as his current accommodation would not be suitable for 2 working adults. As we are currently living apart, my parents care for me on Thursday and he does Fridays on, as it would not be realistic for him to commute from my parents' home to work. He currently only helps care for me 2.5 days a week. Some examples of things he has found unreasonable for me to ask of him are: asking for a cup of tea, once only 4 weeks into recovery. Asking him to put my belongings back in the correct place after using them, as I am unable to keep getting up to fix things constantly. I am also bound to my room for the 22 hours a day, and so the tidiness helps me keep a clear headspace. Asking for help with fixing my sheets on my bed, as I am not able to stand to fix them myself. Asking to switch off the light in the room when we are both in bed. He says the above are unnecessary, and just because it's an inconvenience for me doesn't mean that I can't physically do them. He insists when I cannot physically do something he's happy to help, but he's not here to help with my convenience. He feels I am being demanding and have a princess complex. As a usually independent person, I am very frustrated by my current situation, and asking for things does not come easy. Am I the idiot for expecting him to help me out with things which are a convenience for me rather than an immediate essential need? Am I being demanding? Should I be more understanding of him being tired after work and just be grateful for him helping me out with meals, etc., as I know he is tired? Not the idiot. It sounds like he thinks you're faking it. I cannot imagine the kind of bitter and selfish person who won't make a cup of tea or turn off the lights for their bedbound partner. If he's not here for your convenience, then what the hell is he even doing? Not the idiot, but if this is how he treats you when you are supposed to be resting for surgery, I don't think it will go well with getting a house. Or what if you want kids? Well, he thinks it's unreasonable to help. Not the idiot. You want to buy a house with this guy? Make sure you get an outdoor pole so you have somewhere to fly that giant red flag. Am I the idiot for humiliating my husband by leaving him behind? Hi Reddit, throw away here, so don't waste money on this. My husband, 30M, and I, 27F, are from a South Asian ethnicity where even in relatively progressive families, men are kind of respected, a bit more looked at as the deciding authority in the house, etc. I grew up in a pretty strict conservative family where misogynist views were kind of common, but I've always spoken against it, and I made it clear to my family when I moved out plus got married that I wouldn't be adhering to the rules that I was brought up in. When I met my husband, we mutually agreed that we'd be equals in the house and wouldn't do the same thing, etc. He explained back then to me that he wouldn't actively participate in conversations where things were misogynistic or weird, but he has trouble speaking against it. I was fine with that. Fast forward to 3 years later and we're expecting our first child soon. When we sat down both families to tell them the news, they were happy at first, then made weird comments like, "You're gonna have to settle down now OP and do more around the house instead of having with your husband, and are you going to make him change the diapers too, etc." I didn't care much about them saying it, but my husband joined in and made weird remarks too. I also noticed that since I told him I was pregnant, he's been doing less around the house, though I attributed it to mental stress at work or something like that. Anyway, I put my foot down and spoke to him privately, saying we should get going since I was highly uncomfortable with the comments they were making. When I called him to leave, He said no, let's hang out for a while more with our parents etc. I'm going to admit that I was angry and tired and my hormones got the best of me. I said I'm leaving at 7 and when 7 PM came, I left since he refused to. I didn't throw a fit in front of our parents. I just said I'm tired and leaving. When he got home, he was furious with me since my uncles had ribbed him for not being able to control his wife and made fun of him. He thinks I've humiliated him. He refuses to speak to me even about medical appointments until I apologize for what I've done. I don't mind apologizing, but I don't feel like I've done anything wrong here. But I'm beginning to wonder if I could have handled things differently. So Reddit, am I the idiot for leaving him and making him look bad in front of our family? P.S. We are in a COVID-controlled country, so gatherings are totally allowed. Edit to add, I did not get pissed at him because he merely didn't speak out. He actively participated in the conversation and went so far as to say if we have a boy, I'm going to make sure he marries a wife who'll take care of him, not like me etc. I made it clear to my husband in our private talk that I was uncomfortable. He played it off as a joke and went outside and continued doing the same thing. Sorry if I didn't make that clear before. Not the idiot. Sounds like your husband paid you lip service on the equality thing to keep you happy. Now that you've done your wifely duty of getting pregnant, he expects you to stop with that nonsense and start acting like the wife his family expects you to. Put your foot down. You don't owe the apology. He does. Not the idiot. Don't apologize. You haven't done anything wrong. He owes you apologies. It seems, consciously or not, he's only been playing at an equal relationship. Not the idiot. He is not only going against what you both agreed upon, but giving you more work to do while you're pregnant. And then instead of cutting off the conversation, he contributed to it. It's not like you left and didn't say anything. You said you were leaving at 7 and left at 7. His fault for not hitching a ride with you. I hope all goes well and you have a safe birth. Congrats BTW. Am I the idiot for telling my mom to stop feeling entitled to know everything about my life when I purposefully keep her out of it? Hi. I'm on a throwaway account. Mandatory, I'm on mobile, so sorry if formatting sucks. My 22NB mother, 44F, and we'll call her V, isn't someone I've had a great relationship since I can remember. Which is 14 since I did block out most of my younger childhood due to some unrelated issues. Starting from 14, it's become increasingly clear that she had a child because she expects someone to love her unconditionally for simply existing. For some backstory as to how I got where I'm at, I'll provide. V made it very clear that she saw me as a personal therapist. As a child, if I had any issues at all emotionally, she would make it about her and guilt me for making her feel like a bad mother. V held me responsible for fixing her after her and my dad, who I love dearly, got a divorce. If I didn't comfort her as she cried for hours, I was considered an awful child. If I told her I wasn't sure how to comfort her, she would say I didn't care about her. I came out as bi, and she made biphobic jokes to me from 15 to now. She would feed herself 3 times a day and refuse to make me food and leave with no snacks to make myself and not allow me to get a job to buy my own food. I moved out and moved with family elsewhere who take great care of me and helped me become a functioning adult. I'm healthier, in a better mindset. V calls me every now and then and guilts me for moving out and guilts me with her death because I don't wanna go visit her. To be clear, I've told her I don't wanna see her because of how she treated me as a child. She calls me crazy for making everything up and refuses to apologize. Now, my dad and mom had decided to be friends for an example of my dad's children with his other wife to show that exes can get along. My mom wanted me to get a phone plan of my own to put on as she has bad credit, and at the time I hadn't developed my own credit yet, so I told her sorry I can't open my own line, I'm gonna have to go on someone else's. I didn't tell her I was on my dad's phone plan because she doesn't pay my bills and makes me feel like shit for the nice relationship I have with my dad. She also has a tendency to try and control things in my life because I don't need her and guilts me when I don't tell her any small detail, even down to what I ate for lunch last week. Somehow, It slipped that I was on my dad's phone plan and she called me telling me I lied to her about being on my dad's phone plan and why I didn't tell her. Here's why I might be the idiot. I went off on a tangent and told her that not everything I do is her fucking business. I moved away from her for a reason and it will stay that way. She has no reason sticking her nose in every aspect of my life because I chose to keep her out of it. She hung up crying and complained to my dad, who said he understood but I should have worded it more kindly. Am I the idiot for telling my mom to stop feeling entitled to know everything about my life when I purposefully keep her out of it? Not the idiot. I'm glad you got away from her as she behaves in a very toxic manner. You may want to consider going no contact, as this not behavior I can see changing for the better. Not providing you food was neglect and using you as emotional support while disregarding your feelings was abuse. Major not the idiot. This is narcissism at its finest. Guilting you with her death is disgusting. You're your own person. You have a life of your own. Which is something every parent, if they're a good one, yours is not, should strive for their children to have. You being made to feel guilty for having a life outside of your mother is absolutely ridiculous and you 100% have been abused for so long it's become customary. This is not okay. Not the idiot. Your relationship with V is extremely toxic. Read up on emotional incest. It might be helpful for you to have a concrete understanding of what her emotional expectations are and why it makes you feel so uncomfortable. Am I the idiot for not wanting my girlfriend to hang out with a male friend anymore? Title kinda sucks but hear me out. I, 22M, and my girlfriend, 21F, have been dating since we were in high school. Our relationship has always been great and very rarely did we ever fight or have disagreements. Well, a while back I got a job offer that was out of state. We were living together at the time. Since it was a foot in the door that I needed to get my dream job, I was pretty serious about taking it. I talked to my girlfriend about it and she was very supportive and encouraged me to take it, saying she wanted to move and experience someplace new. Well, when it came time to move she got cold feet and wanted to stay but encouraged me to go get the experience and then get another job back home, so I left. While I was away I was making more money than ever and I would send some home to her every paycheck as well as still pay my half of the rent. I was pretty much couch surfing and car living to save money. Anyways, while I was away she made some new friends at her work who soon became her best friends, one of them being a guy our same age. I was happy for her and not worried about this guy at all given our relationship was so strong and I trusted her. Well, she started getting distant and she eventually broke up with me over text. We were broke up for a little over a year but then rekindled things. After a month or so of dating again, I found out she had left me for this guy but they didn't work out and went back to being friends, hooking up occasionally. I also found out that they were taking trips together and, even when her and I were back together, hanging out often. She lied about all of that, for a long time. Made up stories about going out of town with girlfriends but it was actually with him. She was lying to me about hanging out with her girlfriends when she was actually with him. Once I found all of this out I was ready to end things but she convinced me to stay and said she will cut him out of her life completely. Well, today she told me she wanted to be friends with him again and that she's worried he's not doing so good right now. I told her I didn't want them to be friends and that I want him out of her life completely. She's upset about it but I just don't see how I can justify being okay with them being friends and hanging out. Am I the idiot? You don't get to maintain a relationship with someone you had an affair with if you're trying to repair the relationship. It's that simple. Any couples counselor will confirm this. Not the idiot. Normally asking someone to give up a friend isn't okay. But she had an affair with that person. This is a huge red flag. Not the idiot, as the saying goes. Once a cheater, always a cheater. The trust in your relationship is gone and she will never be able to earn it back. She's lied to you on multiple occasions and has been hooking up with this guy while trying to work things out with you. She misses you sending her the extra cash every payday, not you. Time to let her go and see what life brings you in your new city. Not the idiot. Every time you break up with someone it's a little easier. She's just going to keep breaking your heart. So you can let her go, rip that band-aid off and start healing, or you can keep letting her hurt you and prolonging this doubt and pain. It doesn't sound like she wants it to be completely over with both of you, which is very selfish of her. You really deserve better.